meeting this evening via WebEx. And I will mention the standard announcement that for those who may be calling in for public comments on the second reading of at least two ordinances. If you're calling in by phone, if you'll dial *3, that in essence raises your hand, recognize you to speak. If connected by computer, click the hand icon on your participants panel to speak. So with that, first order of business, reading and approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting dated February 8th, 2022.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Kevin and Sherry. Kevin and Sherry, I guess it was, or Tom.
Yeah.
It's Kevin and Sherry and Tom seconds as well. Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented from the February 8th meeting?
Aye.
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 As opposed by a like sign? That motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Fowle, second reading, public hearing for an ordinance amending the City of Beckley, Chapter 2, Section 2-500.
Okay, Mayor, here it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I have the, okay, I have a revised agenda here. My apologies.
That's no problem. You may want to do the Carter Street property first. Is that what you have on your agenda?
Let's see. Yes. First reading of an ordinance authorizing the City of Beckley to purchase attractive real estate on Carter Street.
Right.
My apologies.
That's no problem. I will read this ordinance by title tonight. This will be our first reading, and as usual, if approved tonight, we will have second reading and a public hearing at the first meeting in March. And this is an ordinance that we have been requested to adopt on behalf of the Beckley Sanitary Board, and it is regarding a project that they are doing over on the Carter Street City Avenue area, and it's going to involve infrastructure. The cost of this property will be $12,500. The Sanitary Board has negotiated this transaction with the owners of the property, who are Willie Joe Chandler and Mary Catherine Chandler. This ordinance is titled, "An Ordinance Authorizing City of Beckley to Purchase a Tract of Real Estate on Carter Street in the Hedrick Walker Carter Edition, described as lot number 418 and a portion of an 18-foot alley located off of Carter Street." Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Fowle. And this, as Mr. Fowle mentioned, does have to do with a Beckley Sanitary Board project that involves a computer-controlled retention pond at the bottom of Carter Street. And the next ordinance will also deal with that. But this is the real estate now owned by Willie Joe Chandler. So do we have a motion to approve this ordinance on the first reading?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Sherry and Tom. Next, first reading of an ordinance, City of Beckley to purchase attractive real estate in the vicinity of Carter Street and City Avenue. Mr. Fowle?
Yes, Mayor, this, as you stated, is an ordinance that deals with property in the same vicinity. This property is owned by the Catholic Church, and I will read this ordinance by title. Second hearing will be held, and a public hearing, a second reading will be held the first meeting in March. This is property that the Sanitary Board did negotiate a consideration price of $8,000. And this ordinance is titled, "An Ordinance Authorizing City of Beckley to Purchase a Tract of Real Estate in the Vicinity of Carter Street and City Avenue in the Hedrick Walker Carter Edition as shown on Tax Map 32 as parcels 28, 29, 30, 31, 139, and 140 in the City of Beckley District." And this property will be purchased by the city, but the Sanitary Board then will pay for the purchase of this property. Mayor?
Thank you very much. We have a motion to approve this ordinance as described by Mr. Fowle on the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. The ordinance is presented be approved on the first reading and sent for a second reading and public hearing. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed by like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next, second reading, public hearing of an ordinance amending the City of Beckley Code involving the increase from 15 to 25,000 for the requirement of formal bidding. Val?
Yes, sir, Mayor. We had the first reading on February the 8th, 2022. Tonight is the second reading. After I read it by title, we will have a public hearing. And as the mayor just stated, this does increase from $15,000 to $25,000, the amount that would require a formal bid procedure for the purchase of goods. And of course, this does not mean that you do not have to still obtain bids. It just, you do not have to go through the formal process. This will certainly expedite and I think make Billy Trump's job a little bit easier because there are a lot of product that does need to be purchased that falls under $25,000, and this will certainly expedite and simplify the ability for the city to do that. This ordinance is titled Ordinance Amending City of Beckley Code Chapter 2, Section 2-509 and Section 2-510, increasing from $15,000 to $25,000 the requirement of formal bid procedures for the purchase of goods. At this time, I will open a public hearing and ask Amy to see if anyone is interested in speaking on this ordinance. And if so, they can certainly speak either in favor of or in opposition to. Amy?
I don't see anyone signed up at this time.
Thank you, Amy. I will close the public hearing, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Val. Do we have a motion to approve this housekeeping ordinance, which, as Mr. Val says, will somewhat streamline the Recorder Treasurer's Office regarding purchases up to $25,000.
So moved.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Motion and second, Mr. Dunlap and Ms. Bullock.
Janine.
Right. Got you. We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance on the second reading. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
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 Those like sign, motion carries. Okay. Next, second reading public hearing of an ordinance amending the City of Beckley Code Chapter 13, Article 13, hotel tax. Mr. Val?
Yes, sir, Mayor. Tonight is the second reading of this ordinance. First reading was at the last meeting on February the 8th. This ordinance does incorporate marketplace facilitator into the chapter, the City of Beckley Code chapter. And this does bring us in compliance with the state code. This was a change that they had made, so we were adopting what they had done. Jessica Chandler, I see, is on. She is on her computer tonight. If anybody has any questions, needs any further explanation of this, I will read this by title. This does deal with hotel motel tax and the ability for the city to collect from those who would be considered marketplace facilitators, who are those who out of the City of Beckley take reservations and in effect facilitate that transaction. This ordinance is titled Ordinance Amending City of Beckley Code Chapter 13, Article 13, Hotel Tax, to incorporate marketplace facilitator into the chapter. And at this time, I will open the public hearing and ask Amy if there is anyone signed up to address this matter. They can speak either in favor of or in opposition to this ordinance.
I don't have anyone signed up at the moment.
Thank you, Amy. I will close the public hearing, and Mayor, I'll turn this back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Val. We have a motion to accept the ordinance on the second reading as presented by Mr. Fowl regarding the hotel motel tax. I would entertain a motion to approve that on the second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Janine. Have a motion and a second to approve this ordinance on the second reading as presented by Mr. Fowle. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those by like sign, that motion carries. The next item, I think we need some discussion here. And it's possible after discussion with Mr. Fowle and recommendation by Cody Reedy at our last meeting that we do proceed as a city to secure bids for the replacement of the roof on the WJLS building. I will say that Mr. Bickey has secured a very competitive quote from a reputable roof installer. And my question to Mr. Bickey is, as we initiated those bids in a formal manner from the city, will that contractor honor the same bid that he submitted to Mr. Bickey and pass that on to the city? So, and I think Mr. Fowle agrees that to keep things in proper order and to save any gray areas or questions or problems in the future, that we do need to go ahead and proceed along those lines to request those bids to come in prior to the March the 8th meeting. And of course, we're in hopes that this bid obtained by Mr. Bickey will be along those same lines. There is a stipulation in that bid that should, and I think any contractor, and I think Cody would probably chime in on this, if as they begin to remove the existing roof or roofs and run into areas that need to be repaired through wood or panel or otherwise, that could raise the price slightly. So it would be my recommendation, if it's proper for me to do so, to suggest that we table number 7, bring it up at the very next meeting when we have those bids in hand on March the 8th. So is there any discussion on this spot?
Wasn't
Mayor-
he going to fix
Go ahead.
the building first before we took ownership of it?
Pardon me? I'm sorry, say that again.
Wasn't Mr. Bickey supposed to fix the building prior to us taking possession?
Well, Mr. Fowle thought that, and I agree after discussion with him, that if the city ends up paying for that, which we would one way or the other, then the city has to participate in a bid process because it will be over $25,000. So that original plan, which early on I thought streamlined the process and made it easier for all of us, is not in good legal order. We do need to conduct those bids.
Okay, I get it now.
And the recommendation is that we table tonight this ordinance. So,
With the stipulation that we must bring it up at the very next meeting or it dies, right?
right, you'd have to start over, have to do first reading again, correct?
So do we have a motion to table? Any other discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to table number 7.
So moved.
Kevin?
Second.
Second.
Very good. We have a motion second to table this article number 7, which deals with the gifting of the WJLS building to the city until such time that we have as many bids as we can get. We'll shoot for 3 bids. So have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate of the tabling, say aye.
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 Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Next, we have a resolution to renew the Raleigh Theater and Playhouse annual lease. And I think late today, Leslie Baker, who is in favor of, as we come out of the pandemic, of getting our original lease back in force after, I guess, at least a year and a half of $1,500 month-to-month lease, that we go ahead and enter this. Understand and Leslie's memo to council that Shane Pierce has at least one event scheduled for each month, and we feel like as we move through the month, through the year, things like some of the nice local events that we've had will also come into place. So at this point, any discussion prior to asking for a motion?
Mayor, do you know the condition of the Playhouse's heating and cooling systems, as well as whether the projector's fixed and working?
Well, I'm pleased to say that Matt Bickey, as we speak, with I think of the Charleston well-known HVAC contractor, is spending what he estimates to be $13,000 to totally revamp the HVAC, which has been a real thorn in the side. I really can't speak to the projector, but I feel like that that Shane Pierce has kept an eye on that as he schedules these events. But
Well, the reason I ask is just because we were of the understanding that the projector hasn't been working for a period of time. That may be inaccurate based on what you're saying.
yeah, and I'm not sure. Is the projector used only for movies, I assume, or is it used for stage productions as well?
No, I think the projector's used predominantly for films, feature films being played, which explains why we haven't had feature films played there for some time. That projector not working is just another thorn, I'm afraid, because even when we don't have theater events planned, it's still beneficial to keep that entertainment venue in people's consciousness by showing second run films, art house films. Oscar shorts were normally run this time of the year every year, but my understanding is the projector's currently not working. So I just want that. I didn't know if we had a projection on that.
We'll certainly find that out. I agree with you. It's very important. Any other comments?
Would the lease be staying the same as it was previously?
It would be the same lease that was agreed on, I guess, 3 years ago by previous council.
Yes, it'd be under the same terms and conditions. Yes.
Bill File.
Yes, sir.
Is that in that lease agreement, can we sublease the place to, like if a restaurant or something came, we could open up the basement and we could rent the basement as a restaurant or a bar like it was before?
Yeah, there's no limitation. There are certain limitations on some things we cannot do, but that would not be something we would need to go to Matt and work with him. But I'm trying to think. I don't have a copy in front of me, but as far as the restaurant goes, I don't think that would be an issue at all.
Tom, the original plan, the one I hope we can get back to as soon as we can successfully recruit a more stable workforce at Black Knight, was to actually times when available Black Knight personnel could come up to the restaurant portion of the theater on certain events to prepare food and serve drinks. We would actually do that as a city function like we do at Black Knight. But as Bill said, I don't think there's any prohibition if a church wants to do that or any other organization. Any other discussion? Okay, if not, I would request a motion to approve this resolution to renew the Raleigh Theater and Playhouse annual lease.
Moved.
Who was that?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Tom seconded.
I think Robert Dunlap.
Robert made a motion. Okay. We have a motion and second to remove the Raleigh Theater House annual lease as is contained in your packet, I believe. So all in favor of approving this resolution, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed by a like motion, like sign, thank you. Next, resolution to permit the open burning of vegetation in the city, otherwise known as the FOUL resolution.
Thank you, Mayor.
19, what year was that? 19? 1977, I think.
Probably close to it.
I think it was.
Very close. I'll just read the pertinent part of this resolution that I think needs to be made public, and that is the open burning of vegetation will be allowed in the corporate limits of the city of Beckley between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 a.m. from the first day of March 2022 until the 31st day of May 2022. Prior to open burning of vegetation, the owner of the property upon which burning will take place must notify the City of Beckley Fire Department. The open burning shall be in such a manner as to not affect the health, safety, comfort, and property of any person. If the open burning is determined to not meet this criteria, the fire department is authorized to order the open burning to cease. Mayor, I believe that are the pertinent parts of this resolution.
Thank you, sir. I agree. I think those were very pertinent. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the resolution as presented by Mr. Powell?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got Kevin and Cody. Have a motion second to approve the open burning resolution as presented by Mr. Powell. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Old business, let me just lead off with a couple things. I'm sure that everybody's aware that the last member of the Wilkes generation of the Wilkes children, Betty Wilkes, passed away just a few days ago. And golly, if there was ever a family in Beckley that was really dedicated to Beckley and to the Humane Society and the Salvation Army and Concord College, the Wilkes family was. So I would ask that we keep her close, and then and her family. And then Saturday I had the privilege of presenting Quincy Madison a Living Legend Award at the Baptist Church, Central Baptist, and it was a very nice occasion, and nobody's more deserving of that award, in my opinion, than Quincy Madison. All four of our grown children attended Park Junior High during Quincy's tenure over there, and they just thought the world of him. So anyhow, that's about all I have under old business. Anything from any member of council under old business?
Yes, Mayor, I got one thing. This KP, I had spoke several months ago to Leslie Baker and Bill Kelly about updating our website, getting Black Knight on there. And I didn't know if they're on here and to where they could chime in and give us an update on that.
Okay. Well, I know we have Amy, and I think we have Bill Kelly.
Yeah, I can tell you that we have not gotten the Black Knight website on there, but we have been working with Cucumber Company to do we've been doing some back end updates on the website in preparation for some changes. Leslie and I have been talking. We need to get together and come up with a design, a plan. It's really kind of a redesign of the website. I have talked to Cucumber about that. They're certainly on board. So hopefully, Kevin, we'll be seeing some movement in that here in the next few weeks.
Good.
Hope so.
Thank you, sir. Anything else from a member of council under old business?
I have something, Mayor. I'm guessing this would be considered old business. I was wondering, with a lot of the mandates and stuff getting lifted, is it possible that we could start meeting in person again March 8th?
You know, I think that's day to day, really, and I'm very pleased that the numbers are trending the way they are. I think that a lot of times we do accomplish more, not only during the meeting but after meeting, with more informal discussions with department heads. So I think the great job that IT's done for us with WebEx and the remote meeting opportunity has been good, particularly at this time of year when we've had one or two evenings where the weather's been well, it's easier to sit at home sometimes in the comfort of your home than it is to come out if it's 15 or 18 degrees. So, but anyhow, we'll sure take that under consideration. Any other comments on getting back to in-person meetings in a couple of weeks?
Mayor, this is Tom. I have to agree with Cody. I think our meetings would be a lot more productive if we met in person. And I've noticed picture you in the paper where you're at a black night with all kinds of people out there, and you were not wearing a mask, and it's like we need to just get over it and get through this and just get back to normal.
Yeah. I got some other pictures I can send you as well, Tom.
Okay,
Appreciate that.
you got my email.
So, very good. Very good. Any other comments?
Mayor, whenever we're off topic with that, I'd like to ask Mr. Kelly a real quick question about an old business item.
All righty. Proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Kelly, we talked a while ago about an app that's being developed through the format of City of Tyler, and your staff has been fantastic to keep me abreast of that. To be honest, I'm excited about the website developments, but I'm also really encouraged that we're making a lot of momentum toward our City of Beckley app, which will allow people to, obviously get to the parking interface easier, pay city expenses, like for instance, a code enforcement expense, or really any city expenses that need to be paid. I just wanted to touch base and mention to the other city council members, obviously, that our tech area is making a lot of progress toward that app being finalized, and then see if we have maybe a date for rollout.
Okay, I do not have a date for rollout yet. I can tell you that the app, as with so many things that seem to be simple on its face, it's we are very excited in IT about getting an app out there as well. A City of Beckley app has been on our radar for a few years, and we've only gotten to the point where, with mandates from the state to take payments online, and with technology changes and our infrastructure upgrades, that we've gotten to the point where we even have the ability to look at that. One of the things we're working with right now is getting all the department information that we need in order to make that app useful. I mean, Tyler, we basically have the app now that would be available to us, but we have to get the departments in line to be able to do all that. We've been working with Jessica Chandler about the requirements. Municipal court. We just launched our new municipal court system last week, and one component of that is online payments. Be able to actually, for people to go online, to just pull up their information, be able to say, yeah, I'm going to plead guilty online for this. I want to pay my fine and costs, and be able to take those online. Also, to be able to take for people to say, I want to. They get payment plans now. So if they want to do a payment plan, they can actually come in and make their payment plans online. So we're just now getting that component of that part in place. Until we get those back end processes in place, then it doesn't really do us any good to launch an app that doesn't really have a whole lot of features to it. It has the ability to integrate. We've talked to Sanitary Board about integrating Sanitary Board payments online. And we're really hoping to get all these things going here. It is a work in progress. It is something that we are actively pursuing. I can't say it's going to be there in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we talked about it a few months. I still have to get with Leslie on Parks and Rec, because Parks and Rec takes a lot of fees throughout the year, different things, whether it's pool fees, whether it's things at the Youth Museum, whether it's at the Exhibition Mine taking payments in. Anybody wants to buy things at monthly month passes, or online payments for online ordering for the Black Knight. So all these things we're trying to coordinate right now, and we're actively working on every one of those things, and they're all starting to come together now. So I don't think it's going to be that much longer, but I really can't give you a timeline on it tomorrow.
Well,
we'll do our best to keep you updated on that.
Well, Mr. Kelly, I appreciate that. I'd been aware of all of those different moving parts. I just don't think it's been brought up in that much detail for City Council. So I wanted frankly, it's sort of giving your IT department a shout out for the hard work you're achieving, because when this app is completed, and frankly, you've made great strides to the rollout being, terrific for the city. Folks being able to make their payments for the swimming pool when we get it open, for instance, is going to be terrific. People will be able to do that directly from their apps, and we're all getting so used to doing that from our phones. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, because your IT department's really been second to none. And I know that they got a lot of really good press for rolling theirs out at St. Albans about 3 weeks ago. So if we keep the pedal to the metal, I'd really love for us to keep in step with some of those more modernized cities.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the opportunity that you've given me here to highlight some things, and I appreciate your comments. That's great. While I've got the floor, I will tell you two other things, and that is that I want to reiterate to everybody that we do have the Passport parking app for parking downtown, which is always an option. You can pay at a meter if you have a meter. You can pay with the loot boxes that we have. We have the one at Word Park. We have just upgraded and are in the process of installing the second app, the second loot box on the parking building, and it has a lot of features. What I'd like to see us do with that, there's also a feature there that allows merchants downtown to actually issue vouchers. If they would like to do that, they can actually purchase vouchers, so that if somebody comes into their business and they purchase something, or however the business wants to hand that, they can say, we'll voucher your parking downtown if you make a purchase up to a certain amount, or however they want to handle that. But that's something I would like to maybe get with you or some other council members, or however we want to do this, to maybe get this information out to the merchants downtown that we have this available, that they could use as to their benefit, maybe to draw some people in downtown. So there are those kinds of things that we have going on, and I do appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.
No, I don't think it's funny. We don't really compliment you enough, because if it isn't broke, no one says thank you to the IT division. So we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And if I could chime in as well, one of our technicians, Luke Miller, has been working very closely with Cucumber and Company to add our agendas as well as the videos of council onto our website. They're available today. I did put a link to the agenda so that that whoever is coming into the meeting can actually pull that up and see what the agenda is for the day. The agenda goes on the day of, well, I'm sorry, I take that back. I think the Friday before council meeting, that agenda goes up. And then the video of this meeting, as well as the other previous meetings, go up a day or two after the event is over. So we've worked really closely with Cucumber and Company to get that part of the website completed. Another thing, if you go to our website, you might see pop up on the side of the screen, it says Text My Gov, and that is an application that you can text a keyword to that number and get information. For example, if you want to know about the campground, it will send you to the link. It will send you maybe some information about it. That's growing and changing as we get people who are sending information in, asking questions. The good thing about that is if somebody asks a question and we don't have a response, we get notified, and then we're able to fine tune that a little bit. So we have had several people use that. It does pop up on any page that you're on our website. So those are a couple of things that we've been working on and that we've gotten moving, and I would say completed at this point. So just like Bill said, we have a lot of other things that we're working on, but those are a couple of things that we're pretty proud of that we've gotten accomplished.
Absolutely.
Very good. Appreciate all the comments, updates from IT and Mr. Dunlap. Any other new business for a member of council? Amy,
Rob, I'd like to speak just a second. When Bill Kelly was mentioning the municipal court, building. As you pull into Industrial Drive off of the Clarence Meadows Boulevard, there's not real good signage there to get people to the municipal court. And when they get there, there's like a temporary flag there flying. And, to me, it seems like it needs like a permanent, yard sign, made out of something nice. And I know on the post there where the stop sign, there's a little sign there that says something that directs you to the fire station. But on that same pole, there should be something that directs you to municipal court and IT department. It just seems like we're missing out on some signage that needs to happen there. And, maybe we just haven't gotten around to it, but we should heavily look into that because both of those properties are getting used every day.
I think that's a great suggestion, recommendation. I know we have had temporary signs, more of a yard sale type of sign for municipal court, but that's something that we can talk with Public Works and Jerry about their sign making department, and as you say, get something there that's more permanent, more meaningful, more striking. Good idea.
Yeah. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Oh, excuse me, any other new business this evening?
Mayor, in the vein of new business, if I could give the council a real quick update on our energies to recruit for New River and Black Knight, if that'd be agreeable.
Sure.
I'll be super fast. Council, just with the permission of the mayor and interface from Ms. Baker, who'd be the supervisor of both park and recreational activities at both of the pools I've just referenced. I had the pleasure of meeting with the Woodrow Wilson guidance counselor staff, and then she actually made an opportunity for me to meet with 17 young people who were student athletes for the most part, expressing a strong desire to lifeguard. Of course, a number of those folks were 16 and gonna turn 17 as we're ready to open the pools. And obviously age was a large concern, but I think what's important and the feedback I'm getting online from folks is we need to think of, a longer term strategy to recruit folks when they're 16 so that they're not running off to the fast food restaurants or whatever when they turn 17 and 18. They know that they have a career opportunity as they turn 17 and 18. And Ms. Baker gave us some excellent feedback. And frankly, I was already starting to attract donations from the private sector to subsidize the expense associated with the training and certification of new lifeguards at the YMCA. It's a $250 cost. And I have to brag on our mayor and Ms. Baker a little bit because, for qualified applicants, for folks that commit to, over 20 hours a week working at these pools, there's a potential for the city absorbing the expense to the YMCA to have those young people trained and certified. So, a lot of naysayers are out there about the city has no intention of opening these pools, and I just that's not my reality. I see folks, including myself, working very hard at recruitment efforts, and I'm just really tickled with 17 young people that showed up, all energetic and excited and wanting to make sure that recreational options this summer are open in New River Pool. The guidance counselor staff is just second to none out there at Woodrow, and they were pre-screening applicants and helping these young people fill out these job applications and get references and recommendations. And of course, these kids have a lot of pre-qualifiers. You have to have a valid driver's license. You have to be able to be employed as a young person. There's a lot to that, as Mr. Price and I'll tell you, being lifeguards in our past lives. But I'm so thankful that we have, leadership that are going to see this through and going to see this pool open this year. And my next step is to reach out to the other two high schools that are in the proximity. Obviously, we're City of Beckley, so we reach out to the high school that's in our city limits. But I'm very excited to also talk with the kids at Shady and see if we can get some more recruitment efforts. And of course, the next step is to also connect with the folks at Tech, at their swimming team, and see if we can get all these pools open up this summer and have qualified and safety first, but have qualified persons that are making sure we meet the goal and this commitment of opening this pool.
Very good. Well, I commend you for your volunteer efforts there, and I think you've made great headway, and it's much appreciated. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Mayor.
Certainly. Okay, anything else under new business?
Mayor, this is Janine. Some of this is, I guess, old business and new business.
All right.
But since this is Black History Month, I just wanted to recognize some individuals during this month. I want to reiterate about Quincy Madison on his Living Legend Award that was presented to him by the Raleigh County branch of the NAACP. And also I thought about attorney Wilbert Payne and his father and grandfather, the achievements and the accomplishments that they made to the city of Beckley, and not only to the city of Beckley, but to the state of West Virginia. And my dear friend, Mrs. Pamela Moore, she passed away suddenly on Sunday, on February the 13th. And she was an educator with the Raleigh County Board of Education. She was a math teacher at Park Junior High School. And she was also a member of my sorority, which is Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And I want to also thank Mayor Daniel Wright of Oak Hill. He was instrumental in organizing a week of lecture series for this month. And then the last Saturday of this month, Reverend Watts will be there, and it starts at 6 o'clock, and it'll be in the Oak Hill Council chambers. And one more thing, and I'll be done. I just want to recognize some of the former African-American council members, Charles Jones, Lorraine C., Major Chambers, Frank Williams, Cedric Robertson, Ronnie Booker, and Lee Leftwich. Thank you, and yours truly, myself.
What about Albert Scott?
Oh, Mr. Albert Scott, you're exactly right. I did forget that name. I thought I had all the names written down. That's right, Albert Scott.
That's nice. This is an important month, and
Yes.
like you, I commend Oak Hill for what they're doing with their lecture series there. It's a little unhandy for me at 6 o'clock one Saturday evening with some other obligations I have, but I think it would be well worth it. So thank you. Okay, anything else from any member of council? Okay. Amy, do we have anybody signed up for public comments?
I don't have anybody with their hand up at the moment.
Okay. So it looks like there is nobody.
Still no one. No.
Very good. Okay. Well, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Very good.
Seconded.
Second.
We stand adjourned. Thank everybody for a great meeting. Have a safe evening.
See y'all.
Bye.
Everyone, take care.